talk to you. I'm
Mhm.
very interested in art generally. I visit a lot of museums and galleries and so on, and I go with friends to see them because I get to see these things for free because an old person, right?
Mhm.
Travels for me is free, so I go and see as many as I can. I've got a lot
Mhm.
of time on my hands now because I'm retired. I don't have to do sex parties anymore. Wouldn't do them here, although we've had group sessions here. Um, but I just think that sometimes when I look at my pictures and the work I've done, not the videos, the pictures, the photographs, I think that's artistic. I mean, I look at the one, I use this one behind me, the one in the middle up there, right? Which to me is erotic as opposed to porn because you've got Olga on the right, you've got Sarah on the left. That was just a picture we did down at a local venue and I edited it up and I just thought, so that is on my brand, that picture. So on all my sites and all my platforms, my header has got that picture because I don't want to give away. I can't have girls showing their boobs or their pussies or their asses. I just want something that's makes you think about it. It's like when you see a painting, for me anyway, and I go to again a lot of photographic exhibitions, and some of them stay with you. You want to go back and have another look, and some of the pictures stay with you afterwards.
Mhm.
And you think about what was the artist thinking, and I think it's some of these as well that I want people to look at my pictures and think, what's the story? What's happening here? Why is this? In other words, they're thinking about the photograph.
Okay.
It's like good art. I'm not trying to be pretentious and say my stuff is art. I'm just saying that I think a lot of it's artistic, as opposed to porn. Because if you do certain pictures, there's certain styles, like that girl I had, the American girl I had the other day, Lady Lazarus, very big fetish model in America, forked tongue. Tongue moves two ways. And I sent you a couple of pictures, didn't I, Eddie? She was incredible. Every picture I took, no matter which position she got into, was amazing. I was looking at it thinking, oh, fucking hell, I want you to live here. You're just an incredible model. Um, the way she posed, she knew all the poses. She didn't need hardly any direction from me. Then we went into the bedroom and shot ultraviolet, ultraviolet light in the bedroom. So that's why I've got all the UV stuff around, and she looks sensational. And there was a magic about her. And I look at the pictures afterwards, and I'm thinking, God, I wish all models would be like that because the shoot itself was so easy for me. I didn't have to do any work. I just had to point the camera in the right direction.
Yeah.
Didn't adjust any exposure or anything, just did all that. Um, and I just thought, wow, these pictures. But some of the models I work with, and I'm sure Eddie's come across this in his work, I don't know why they're doing this job. They may look beautiful and very cute, very attractive, very sexy, but they've got no personality. And if you have a personality combined with, let's say, beauty, that will come out in your eyes or in
Mhm.
the look. And if you're sad, let's say you come from somewhere where you've had a big problem at home with family and whatever, you strike. In other words, you're having a terrible time of it, but you come along to me and we're
Mhm.
doing a shoot. I want to make you look like the best person, the most beautiful woman in the world, right? Because we all know that females have got trouble either with their asses or their tummies
Mhm.
or their boobs, right? These are the areas most women are usually concerned with. They may have, like, I've got thin legs or I've got thin arms, but usually it's the belly, bum, and boobs, the three B's. And so I make sure, because a lot of new models, for example, they might be sitting on my sofa like this. Of course, their belly looks a bit big. No, I don't want a picture like that. So we get them to pose in a certain way. But a lot of these girls, and I hate to say it is a lot, don't have a personality. They don't know how to conduct a conversation. They don't listen to instructions. And I'm not saying I know more than anyone else in
Mhm.
this industry, but I've got experience I can pass on to newcomers.
Mhm.
Be careful of this, do that, make sure you
Mhm.
do this. Oh, you're undervaluing yourself, you should charge more. But when you pose, don't forget to look around at the camera. It's a little hint. I say to people, don't look directly at the camera because some of the best pictures, you've got the model to the right of the picture and then nothing or just a room to the left. So the eye is directed to the right to look at the model and what's going on in the rest of the room. It's doing things with a bit of difference because a lot of the models are just posing like this, lingerie and the glamour, and they say, They're called two a penny poses, in other words. But a model who knows, for example, if she's got her back to me, say she's sitting on a chair like this, she's got her back to me, and I say, just turn your head slightly towards the camera and look at the camera that way with your back to us. Far better picture than if she's facing me and looking at the camera. It's the little hint, the flirting in the eyes, because you've got beautiful blue eyes. And those are the eyes I concentrate on. The last thing I'll say is that people have asked me, what do you look for in a model when you first meet her? First thing I look at, if she's not wearing sunglasses, is the eyes.
Well, I'm a good model. I understand what
I can understand you are a good model. Yeah, you strike me as being someone who really knows how to work.
I am. Yeah. I can show you if you
Yeah, let
want.
me see a few pictures. Are you still recording? Okay.
Okay.
You're gonna watch all this again, Marina?
Not sure. I will probably take some things, some bits, and put it in my submission for university. So here is me.
Oh, can't really see anything on there.
I am kind of. Wait.
Oh, I like black and white. Yeah.
Wait. So let's start from here. No, I am good, and then you swipe.
When were these taken?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, very recent. Okay.
Very
Where were they
recent.
taken?
Where in the hotel?
Oh, in the hotel.
In the Pullman on King's Cross.